the first thing that happens is we serve a complaint on the defendants, and that starts the case. Now the case goes for 2 years, okay, and in 2 years you get to trial. Okay, and we bifurcate it between the first year and the second year. The first year, not much happens. After we serve the complaint, the defendants have to respond. It's usually in 45 days with an answer, typically denying everything. Typically, the defendants then contact us and see if we're interested in settling. There's a scheduling order with the judge that schedules what happens throughout the next 2 years of the case. But importantly, a year in, there's something called claim construction. And in that's a very critical hearing. And there you look at the claims of the patent and look at certain words. And depending on the meaning of the words, it may prove infringement or it may show that they don't infringe. And like, for example, let's say the claims involve my hand being on the phone. Here, it's easy to show that my hand's on the phone, but what if my hand is on a piece of paper that's on the phone? Does on mean directly on or indirectly on? And that all depends on how the patent's written. And so the judge decides those issues at the end of the first year, and that really shows whether the defendant's very likely to infringe or not, which is why we take those settlements that first year to make sure the first year investors, get a return. And then we only make a decision to really fund the second year, assuming claim construction goes well. And then in that second year, it's actually very expensive because you get into discovery, which is you serve interrogatories, which is a series of questions on the other side. They've got to respond. You serve requests for production of documents and things, and then they've got to give you sometimes millions of documents that are relevant to the case. And then there are depositions where you can call key witnesses in and depose them and get testimony that way. And then that leads up to a bunch of other things and ultimately trial. So you see why the second year is much more complex and expensive, which is why we put off the significant investment until the beginning of that second year. And then after trial, the judge or jury makes a decision, and if you win or lose. But it's important to note 95 to 97% of patent cases in the United States settle before trial. Like, some settle very early, and the second year cases sometimes settle during discovery, and sometimes they settle what we call in the courthouse steps, within a week or so of the actual trial.
Like the movies, right?
Yes, yeah, it really is like that. A lot of cases settle, right before trial. Sometimes even cases settle during trial.
So, what did you just say? What's the percentage of cases settle before
Yeah,
trial?
yeah, depending on the jurisdiction, 95 to
Oh,
97% of patent cases in the United States settle at trial. So only 3 to 5% actually go to trial.
wow. Okay.
So it's a
Okay.
pretty good bet in general that you're going to get some sort of settlement.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, next. Um, sorry. Actually, before we go next, I just want to summarize. So that means the first year you take on a case, you build a case group. The first year doesn't cost a lot, and you're expecting most of the case settle. That's why you're able to pay investors, the principal plus the 20-30%, whatever, as you say. And then the decision to go whether to really put money in to go to trial is really after construction, construction claim at the end of the first year, going into second year. That's when people decide whether they want to put big money in there to hopefully win big to go to
That's
trial.
that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Okay. 2 years, eh? Only 2 years. That's pretty short.
Yeah, it's very
From a
short and it's very predictable. And we
yeah.
choose the court, where to sue based on that, where, because we have very strong cases, we like to go to courts where the judge has a lot of experience with patent cases, and where the judges have a track record of getting to trial in 2 years. So, there are a lot of factors on how we select, where to go. It's called venue in the United States, where the defendant's located and things like that. So yeah, So it's very predictable. They're around the 2-year mark will actually be a trial.
Nice. So if an investor actually investing in a trial, are you saying that they will get, they will get the, result or payout, you know, by the end of the second year?
Yeah. If it settles, typically defendants, when there's a settlement, when the defendants and the plaintiff agree to settle, they'll give $1 million, $3 million, whatever it is. In the settlement agreement, typically the terms are payment in 60 days. Okay.
Mm.
Now, if it goes all the way through trial and there's a judgment at the end, typically payments 90 days after that. However, oftentimes the defendants have the ability to appeal, to the
Mm.
next level up. And it's really just one level up. And that's 9 months or a year, so that could delay a payout that long. But again, it's very rare. It's very rare to for our cases to go to trial. In fact, we just, on our funded cases, our first trial just happened a few weeks ago. So with our cases, they tend to settle.
Got it. Okay, great.
And we won, by the way, we won that case, which was great. So
I think I'm in that case.
yes, you are.
Nice return. I have to say nice return. Okay.
Yes. Yes.